is Yanjun Abram. So a little bit about myself. I actually have been working with TCC weekend course for about a little bit more than 10 years now. Since the first TCC weekend course started around 10 years ago. And I was in the Southeast, and they asked me, say, can you come to the weekend course? And I said, yeah, I would like to teach the weekend course. So I have been with the TCC Weekend Colleges, TCC Connect since then. And of course, the course I teach is pretty variety. So I teach all different courses from developmental math, and they call the remedial math before. Okay, we used to have a three remedial course, but now they all converted into called a co-requisite, right? So you take the college level courses and the developmental math at the same time. If they are not a TSA math, that kind of thing. All right. So we start an in-person class, and then of course during the COVID, we all moved to the online one, and then we back to the in-person again. And after the COVID, the in-person class, not that many people showing up, after the COVID. So the college decided to move to the virtual class, and I think that this is a based on the much better idea to me, virtually instead of personally, right? Because I know weekend courses, a lot of students, a lot of you all working, and on the top of the driving, that really the traffic, everything, it's just not really any better than the virtual one. All right, so I'm glad to finally converted all these into virtual one. And of course, I also teach statistics, college algebra, calculus, contemporary math, whatever you name that, I pretty much teach that all. Of course, it's not all in one semester. I do have a degree in math and physics. Okay, I have a master degree in mathematics, but I also have a master degree in physics from two different universities. So basically, I can also teach physics, but math already kept me busy. So I just focus on math. All right. And so that is I actually like the weekend course because a lot of students are pretty more mature than my daytime student, put it that way, right? So that is one thing about a weekend course. And of course, another thing is pretty much everyone is working, right? And then you have a much less time, put it that way. And the summer is also pretty fast. Okay, you can see our course is only like a month, pretty much, right? So we need to use time pretty wisely, that kind of thing. All right. So that is a little bit more about myself. Let me go ahead, share my screen a little bit, and then I will talking about the syllabus and how to get started, that one. And then we're gonna have a little bit introduction to each other before we actually doing the real class. All right. So can you all see my screen now?
I can see it.
Okay, all right, good. So you will need to check an announcement pretty much at least twice a week. Okay. So when I have something here, I always post the announcement here, like the password for the quiz and test is already here, right? So the password for the quiz and test is summer 2026. All right. So always check the announcement first before you send me an email. But I would prefer you to use the inbox to message me, okay? So when you go to the inbox here, it will automatically show you which course you have. So I don't have to ask, say, which class are you in and things like that, all right? So if you send me the email, it didn't pop up the course number, For some reason, that's a separate email. But when you use the inbox, you will automatically showing the class name. All right, so it's much more convenient that way. All right, and then syllabus, if you go here, you can see the syllabus. You can open up the syllabus in here. The most important one for the syllabus is the grading scale, right? So I use the rounding up. Okay, so if your overall score is 89.5, okay, you will round up to an A. But some people say, how about if you are 89.4? Unfortunately, 89.4, I usually call this unfortunate grade, right? It will be round down to B. Okay, so sometimes you just need a little bit extra effort, you will push to an A that way. All right, so that is the grading scale. In here, the system will, we set up this one in the system, so the system will automatically, pop up your A, B, C, D according to this scale. All right. And how does this grade come from? You have a homework and review that count 25%. Okay. Homework and review, you can have a multiple try, and then you also have a quizzes. Okay, quizzes is 15%. Quiz, you usually have a 3 attempts. Okay, you cannot have a more than 3 attempts. So when you do the first one, you didn't do it right, you can go to review the quiz without trying another attempt. And I will show you how later on. Okay, so you will, of course, the second attempt for the quiz, the number might be different. So don't try to copy the number, the answer from the previous one, right? The question type is exactly the same, but the MyLab math, it might automatically adjust the number that way. Okay, all right. So that's the quiz. And in math, you need to know how to solve the problem, right? Not unlike the history, you just remember all the, except the name, location, and the time, that one. All right, so this is testing you another analytical skill, right? So problem solving. So your number will change, but your content, your concept, your formula is still the same, okay? All right, and the test is the majority portion, which is 60%. All the tests need to be used the lockdown browser in order to do the test. Okay, so and this is all set up already. So basically, I combined the test 1 and chapter 1 and chapter 2 together. So that will be considered a test 1. And then we're going to have a test 2, chapter 3, and then chapter 4 and 5 together. You have a, test 3. So basically, it's 3 tests for this course. Okay. All right. So that is the ICR, the syllabus. And when you do this one right here, you can go to the assignment in here, open the assignment and click in here to go through the assignment by the due date. Or I personally prefer is going to the course material, right? So when you go to the course material and then you open the Pearson, you click the launch the course, okay? The first time if you launch it, it might ask you to register or something like that. So just go follow the procedure, and then you can open the MyLab math in here, and you will see all the assignment. The reason I encourage you to use this way, so I'll build a student home, so that was same thing as the one you see in here, right? The current one usually don't only pop up a few assignment, all right, or just a few days. I encourage everyone to click the entire course today, all right? So if you click the entire course today, you can see all the assignment in here, okay? And like I say, we have a lockdown browser sample test, right? So you have 50 attempts, you don't really have to use all the attempts, but I just give you a lot of attempts so you can try probably after class today as well, right? So you can try to see if your lockdown browser set up correctly. And then the review, you have this review, you have 2 attempts. That's enough. It's very similar to the test question, but as I mentioned earlier, the number you usually will change. Okay, so you don't see exact number in math that way. All right, but questions are very similar in this one. So you always have a review before the test, that one. Okay, and I'll encourage you to do the review earlier before the test. All right, and we are going to do the review today as well. Okay. All right, so let me just give you the review quiz in here. Okay, so this one. Okay, so the reason you will need to input a password because I don't want you to randomly just start it without knowing, because this has a limit of try, right? So I'm gonna just answer something wrong, okay? I'm gonna just answer 0, and then you will I'm gonna just answer all that wrong, and then I will counter this one. I'm gonna go ahead submit it, right? So when I submit it, and then at the beginning you can show all these wrong question, but if you don't review right away, so you can go to the review right here, right? But if you don't open the review right away, where can you do the review later on? Okay, so that's the one I'm trying to show you here. If you don't review right away, you will need to go through the okay, view student course home. You will need to go to the student grade book. Okay, so if you don't review right away, later on you want to review your quiz before you do the second time, you will need to come back to the student grade book. Okay, don't go to the assignment. Go to the assignment, it will just ask you to input a password and then try the second time, right? So you go to the student grade book here. Okay, go to the grade book, and then instead of the past 2 weeks, you can say the entire course today in here, something like that, right? And then you can click the review. Look at that, I just submit that one, okay? And I click the review. This review, we are showing you, I answered 0, okay? And that is the correct answer, should be negative AX plus 9. But when I click this one, that's my answer. So that's why it's incorrect, right? And then I click the second one, I also answered 0, okay? And that is the correct answer. The correct answer is showing here. But when you click this one, you can see the answer you enter here. All right, so you will want to go through this review first before you try the second attempt, right? Otherwise, some people say, well, I tried the third attempt, but I still didn't get 100. And unfortunately, you cannot do more than 3 attempts. All right, so if you want to get a second attempt 100, that's how you do that. All right, come to the question here and then review your answer. And you cannot do any attempt in here. Even this one, I haven't done that, but you cannot do anything, right? This one, I answered nothing in here. Okay, so, but you can see the question, you can see where you make mistake. All right, so that is under the student grade book. Okay, under the student grade book, and then you can click, you can all just click the test, otherwise, or you can just say, I want to review the quiz, right? Or you can just say all assignment, even easier. Okay, all right, so that is where you do the review. Okay, so that's why I want you to open the MyLab math here, because when you go to the student grade book, you can open the review. You can review your question. You can even review the test that you submit. The test, if you submit after the due date, you will be able to come back to look at the test to see where you made mistake. All right, because the test is only 1 attempt. So after 1 attempt, you cannot open it anymore. But you can always come back to the student grade book and open the test to review them. Okay. All right, so that is how the course, make up that way. Okay, and I usually send you the reminder under the announcement for the week. Like I said, week 1, what you need to finish on the week 1, right? So always keep up with the calendar. Okay, the schedule, that's the most important one. Keep up with the schedule. All right. Okay, so let's see. I want to stop recording a little bit and let everyone before I. Okay.